I have fitted the cylinder head to the engine. I tried to film it, but along with all the expletives and my getting in the way of the camera, the film was not usable. I now understand why most of the YouTube videos, and of course Mick Hemmings' engine assembly video, does the assembly with the engine out of the frame on a stand and then put the whole engine in. That might have been better and easier using 2020 hindsight. However, you can put the head on the engine with the engine in the frame, and it involves adjusting all of the tappets so they're as far up as they can possibly go, and then fitting the push rods into the head, pushing up as far as they could go, and then using rubber bands to secure them in place, and then taking the head with the push rods here and rotating it around and onto there and guiding the push rods down into the tunnels while trying to align the various studs that are sticking down. It was done. Of course, one of the biggest worries I've had with this is the fact that I'm using BSA style cam followers with a Jim Smith cam follower block, which can be set different heights within the cam follower support, and then the push rods may or may not be the right sort of length. So in this video I propose to re-torque the head. I've torqued it once more than 24 hours ago, and this is a technique I learnt on Triumph Tridents, where it's got a very large flat head. Is you torque the head down and then leave it for a while, torque it down again, run the engine, torque it down, let it cool of course, torque it down again, and at that point hopefully you've got an engine that will run for a while without blowing out the head gaskets. I did when I was using Klingite head gaskets rather than copper head gaskets, I blew out 3 gaskets in one weekend. I got quite adept at changing them on a Trident, but it's something that you perhaps don't want to do, and having done the cylinder head on the Norton, it could be that I need more practice. I was speculating while I was doing it as just how many cylinder heads Mick Hemmings had fitted over his career, seeing that he used to race Nortons and was very successful at it, and of course he did an awful lot of customers' engines as well, so he made it look easy, but it turns out it's not that easy. So I printed out a crib sheet showing the various head bolts and the torques that they need to be. Now I'm using what's called a dog bone, which is an extension for the torque wrench, and it's 2 inches between centres, so you obviously have to adjust the torque to take that into account. It's not 30 foot-pound torque. It reduces because of the extra length. It's not 12 inches anymore, so you end up with 25.7 or 26 foot-pounds. So I will go and do that. I've had to grind all these down to try to fit into the nuts. They're almost impossible to get to, and this is an open span for doing underneath and to get between the fins. Even so, it's still almost impossible to torque it up. In fact, in McKemmin's video, he suggests that you just torque it snug, tight, using what used to be called mechanics feel. And I spent many happy years in the Royal Navy as an apprentice and then as a maintainer, learning mechanics feel, and even so I prefer to actually set the torques, but especially on an engine I've never worked on before. Although I must admit I do use a torque wrench on the Trident engines, simply because it's a very large flat cylinder head. So things to do, we'll start with number 1, which is actually on the torque wrench, and I'll set the torque wrench to 26 foot-pounds, 25.7, 26, which is what I've got set here. We'll do number 1. Oh. I'm not expecting 17, so 20, 24, 26. So that was quite a lot of movement. One of the difficulties I had while doing this was the fact that the nut on the stud hanging down is almost impossible. Almost impossible to get to. I actually made, well, I made special nuts, extended nuts, for all of these studs, so that I can get as I say, this is almost impossible to do. You can't get let's try an extension. It's got a wobble bar extension on it. So it is actually tight. There we go. Is that no? And it's not bottoming out. In fact, hitting the side in this case. Number 2, 3, 4. Yep. Hopefully it's this one. Oh, going the wrong way. Often an issue when you're going from the bottom to the top. So I rotate the engine. In fact, I'm using the alternator rotor center nut. Feeler gauges, 6th thou and 8th thou. 6th thou inlet, 8th thou exhaust. Left hand inlet fully open. Block of clearance on the right side inlet. So that's going to be 6th thou, which is that one. We're using a 6th thou feeler gauge. That's quite loose. Still a little too loose. That's just about right. Hold that in position. Lift that up. Yep. So 6th thou inlet, 8th thou exhaust is pretty common across many of the British bikes, and probably a lot of other bikes as well. So I take the engine until the one we've just adjusted is fully open. Which is there. 6th thou. A little loose. It's about there. Six there. A little tight. So, tappets adjusted, put the covers on. Having set the clearance for the tappets, I can now, at least temporarily, fit the covers. So to that end I have greased the gaskets and need to line up these covers. Now, the inlet rocker cover shows a washer, obviously to stop the oil leaks. The exhaust covers don't show a rocker, however don't show gaskets. However, I don't have the correct the correct nuts to actually fit onto the covers, so I'm using little dome nuts and I'm fitting small copper washers. Hopefully reduce any tendency of the oil to leak. Well, to leak from these covers anyway. Now, the workshop manual says that these should be done up to approximately 8 foot-pounds, but I'm not going to tighten them up yet because obviously I'm going to run the engine when I get that far and then retorque the head and then reset the tappets. I have started to assemble the Isolastic suspension that fits onto the top of the cylinder head. I have put the 3 Allen screws in this case in, and I have used some aluminium based grease between the stainless steel Allen screws and the aluminium cylinder head, remembering the amount of hassle I got trying to take these out from a very rusty bike when I first started. I haven't tightened them up yet, they're all approximately finger tight because I'm going to put the cheeks on first, tighten all that up and then make sure that the fitting is in roughly the right sort of place. The parts that I've got to actually go onto the cheeks are some die cut stainless steel, much thicker than the standard pressed steel cheeks, and one of the reasons I'm doing that is because the when I actually took this apart, the plates here were all cracked and one was broken, in fact. So this is a modification that makes the top much more rigid without using a Dave Taylor or whatever type Mose joint fitting, which I'm not particularly enamoured with. So each of the supporting bolts that go through this have a sleeve that fits on and fits in, and we will do, in fact we'll do that one first. So we'll do this one first. I found it easier to actually get this centre Allen screw on by coming in from the back, and that's one of the reasons why I took or disassembled the back area, because I needed access. And I'll put that in. There we go. Very good. Right. That one. RGM Norton supply nuts that actually fit these, supposedly fit these. Interesting. Be a slight hiccup with that one. And that one. Interesting. I will work out where the dirt is on there and then tighten everything down. And then come back once it's done. With the cheek nuts all tight, I can now tighten up the Allen screws in the cylinder head, and I think I shall do the middle one first. This is a 7/32 Allen key, only just long enough. Now, I understand that putting grease on these screws may allow them to back out over time with the temperature cycling and the vibration, but they're easy to check and to do up. Good. I will at some stage fit the head support spring that actually helps to take some of the pressure off the Isolastic mounts, but also it actually causes a little bit of damping at the lower frequencies, so that when the engine is revving quite slowly, it will actually absorb some of that.